Hey guys, in this video I wanted to go over my hardcore breach character. It is a gladiator, as you can see. Yep. And it's probably one of the nicest characters I've made up to this point, but it has become fairly expensive, but getting it started, not too bad. I'll just go over the gear and stuff afterwards, the gems and all that. I'll just do a little bit of mappage, so it's like, any other Blade Flurry character. It has damage, except the one thing that this character is a little different with is that, let's see here, I can basically AFK and nothing does anything to me, basically. So the reason this is happening is surrender shield. Whenever you block, you heal for 250 life, basically making my character immortal unless I'm taking, huge damage hits. So I've lost many characters to disconnects, and I actually wanted to make a character that if I DC'd, I wouldn't have to worry so much about it. And this character turned out exactly, even better than I'd hoped, but I'll just go over all the stuff here now. So the main things for this character: to do damage, he's going to need Abyssus, and he's going to need Voice of the Storm for the crit. And by, damage, I mean like red maps and maps with like Enfeeble and extra life, stuff like that. So Abyssus, Voice of the Storm, what this does is gives you crit chance based off your lightning resist, so we're trying to get lightning resist up everywhere we can. Surrender, that's where your survivability comes from, and then I have Death's Door to counter the bleed. Extra physical damage taken from Abyssus, so bleed won't kill me. I wouldn't say these are too important if you were actually trying to make this character yourself until you're like at red maps. I would say the earliest things to get are, you could use like Lion Eyes Shield early on until you could afford a surrender. You could definitely start this character all the way up to red maps, I would say, pretty comfortably. Abyssus is where your damage is going to come from, and Voice of the Storm. So I think this is pretty cheap. Abyssus might be a little pricey to get a good, physical damage taken roll. Armor chest, I ended up crafting this with a horror essence, but you could even use like lightning coil or something if you wanted, but or any high armor chest is probably what you're going to want. Try and reduce that physical damage taken. Other than that, rare rings with accuracy life, so you're not missing all your swings. Rare weapon, doesn't necessarily have to be a sword, but I went with swords because I have one sword wheel in the tree. Rare gloves are more than enough. I just ended up using these because I had the money to drop on them. Flask, you have the room to pretty much put 3 unique flasks in safely. You're going to want Diamond Flask for sure. I use Curse Immune on mine, then my Freeze Immune Flask is on my Seething HP pot. No Shock Immune Flask or anything like that, I just run triple damage, basically clear speed flask. And then for the tree, basically you're just hunting HP and you're going to want all your endurance charges. I ended up grabbing all 3. And then jewels for damage and more HP. Vitality Void is good for the leech. If you come over here, you don't necessarily have to come this way if you're not playing swords, but I ended up getting this for the damage a few levels back. Other than that, it's basically just a lot of life, and any setup with this I think would want this little crit wheel thing here. Area nodes, pretty much standard looking kind of tree. The only thing that's kind of different here is the Red Nightmare Jewel, which gives you block chance based off of the resistance in the area, which is insane in this spot. Getting 13% block from, all these little resist nodes, as you can see. Even grab this one. And unlike other block characters, I don't have like, a ton of block nodes. I just have these 3 essentially, and then this one right here, I don't have like the block wheel down here, which I could, get this if I wanted to truly cap my block, but I think I'm at 67% block with Tempest Shield and the Pain Forged up. But I mean, if I wanted to cap block, I could easily do that right here. I just didn't feel like it was necessary for this character. I'd rather have more raw HP and damage. So for the actual Gladiator stuff though, here it's just obviously the versatile combatant for the spell block, gratuitous violence for the bleed explosion, And one thing to note is you don't really need the 100% bleeding on hit from the weapon. It's just something extra I had from crafting this sword. And then Outmatch and Outlast for the extra, damage at frenzy charges, and then the reduced physical damage taken is definitely very important when you're using Abyssus. And with how my character is set up, even before I had this chest, physical damage was never really an issue. Reflect's not really an issue, like single target reflect. Haven't bothered to try like reflect maps. Pretty sure I just explode my character. But yeah, this character turned out quite nice. He's very well rounded. He can pretty much do everything that I wanted to do on him. You can do maps safely, you can do 2-3 damage mod maps, or enfeeble extra life maps without it being grandpa speed. But I haven't tried all the guardians. I did do 2 of them yesterday, which went pretty smooth actually. Unfortunately, this character doesn't have insanely high crit chance. The damage wasn't like insane, no poison or anything like that, but it wasn't like too slow. So extremely tanky character, has really good damage, good clear speed. It was very fun to gear out. So last thing are the gems, right? So Blade Flurry, Ink AoE, Fizz damage, faster crit, and then I'm using melee damage on full life. If it's like no regen map, then I'd definitely swap in Added Fire, or you could just run Added Fire all the time. And then I have Conk Effect here for single target if I need it. Shield Charge, Fortify, Blood Magic, faster, standard stuff. Running a Little Baby Cast on Damage Taken setup here for Enfeeble and Tempest Shield. Ice Golem for the crit and accuracy, and then Vol Haste, increased duration. Enduring Cry. Power Charge on critical, my Reckoning isn't that important. I didn't intend to get additional curse. It's not even like a clean way to use it, but my Reckoning will temporal chains enemies with curse on hit. But you could also link like life gain on hit, life leech here, or even like endurance charge on stun for your shield if you wanted to. Auras, Ash, Arctic Armor, Hatred, Enlighten. With a level 3 Enlighten and only this tiny bit of mana, it's not really an issue to sustain myself. And then just some, pretty much it for the gems. And that is about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.